Today we're looking at Fast Gunman. And the problem with Fast Gunman is that it's not quite put together yet. So it's our job to put it all together. You see, these games are brand new. Still got the plastic on them. Over here we have some parts, some compressors, a transformer. Yeah, let's do it. First thing we gotta do is remove the plastic. Somewhere around the cabinet there should be a key that opens the door that gets us a manual. So let's start peeling. Alright, so plastic has been removed. Now somewhere around the outside there should either be a key or some screws. Looks like on the back we have this cage, but there's a key on that door and a key on that door. So since there's no keys on the outside, maybe there's a key over here in this transformer box. Okay, so I lied. They're not in that box. They're over here in this box. Keys. Now that we have the keys, we can come over here and unscrew all these guys. Alright, 4 more screws. Now we can open the door. And we have some stuff inside. Alright, so we opened the back of the cabinet and we pulled all this fun stuff out. And our GM has been helping us. However, normally this is the part where he walks away. Once things get hard, he goes. It's actually a really nice looking cabinet. They have this veneer over all the wood. Back here you can see the bottle mechanism, how when the bottle falls, the broken one pops up. Really pretty neat. You got nice raceway in here, power supply, plugs. So there is no board in here, which makes me think the I/O board might be shared. Unless it's up in the front. It might be up in the front. Yeah, it's gotta be up in the front. Yeah, that makes sense because the compressor goes back here, so the I/O's gotta be up front. Anyways, we have a whole bunch of stuff over here to unpack. So we finished unpacking one of the units. We got this guy right here, which is one of the headers. We have 2 of these little score boxes. We have the console, of course we have the compressor, and we also got a couple little pieces of metal, another little piece of wood. What we have not found yet though is the instructions, so I'm hoping they're in here. Not in here. What about in here? Nope. What about on this door? Still nothing. Did this game not come with a manual? So I've looked everywhere and I do not see a manual, so I guess we're just on our own. I think the first thing we should do is get this compressor set up. So for the compressor, we have 2 wheels that gotta go on. So we'll take some hardware. No indication which way these go, so maybe like that. And then that guy goes on right there. Now we'll put on a washer. Now we'll put on a nut. And now we can tighten it. Okay, and now that the wheels are on, now right here we have a filter. And the filter only has one spot. It goes right here in the input. And lastly, we have this drain tube. The drain tube pushes right over this fitting right here. And now we can slide over the clamp. There we go, just like that. Now I'm gonna turn this that way so it's more accessible when we put it in. I got the compressor in here, and initially I thought there was gonna be another little rubber thing that goes there, but I guess not. Which is awesome, because when I put that down all the way, that's all kinked. Love that. There also doesn't appear to be any really good way of mounting the compressor. I might have to fix that later, but for now we'll get that set. And we can see our little hose right here. This guy's just gonna plug in right here. Just like that. Now this is really weird, but these compressors run off of a 220 volt plug. Here in America, we use 115 volt outlets. So that's why we have this transformer right here. The transformer is going to plug into the wall, and then both of our compressors are going to plug into it, and it's going to run the compressors. So that'll probably be something we do near the end. For now, we got to finish putting the cabinet together. So because this game was set up to run at 220 volts, the other thing we had to do is go around to all the power supplies, and there's that little switch on that side that we had to flip from 220 to 110. We already went ahead and did all those power supplies, so next we can come up here. And if you look up, we have this little panel up here that I don't believe belongs there. So I think we need to go and remove all 4 of the nuts. There's one in each corner. And now with all 4 of those removed, I think I can just kind of pick this up and wiggle it back, maybe. Nope, I'm gonna have to remove these brackets as well. Okay, so I got all those little brackets removed. Now this guy can kind of try to wiggle his way out. And there we go, I got it out. As you can see, there's this really nice decal on the front, and that was pointed upwards, which is why I thought this had to come out. On the back, it looks like we have some LEDs. Now, if I had to guess, these screws now press into the holes on these brackets. And that's exactly what they do. Now we can take the nuts that we pulled off. Lucky for us, they put these nice little holes right in line with the studs. That way I'm not over here trying to fit my finger in there. That was really nice of them. Funny enough though, there are 6 stud locations on this board, but they only gave me 4 nuts. At least that's how many there were when that backboard was mounted to the top. Aha, I found 2 more in the hardware bag. I don't know if they go here and over there because there's no instructions, but I'll go ahead and put these on, and then if I need to take them off later for any reason, then they're right there. And now with all 6 of those nuts put on, we have a harness here, and that plugs in right up here. Just like that. Okay. So for the most part, I think we're good back here. Uh-oh, wait a minute. We have these guys right here. And maybe they go up top. I'm really hoping they don't go like down in there somewhere. Actually, no. No, I think we're good. I don't see any loose connectors down there. But those guys probably go up top. Next thing I want to do is I think I want to get this console attached. And the only logical way I can see to do that is by using these guys right here. We only have one of these. It would make sense that it would connect the cabinets in the middle. And we have this guy, which is like a lid to this guy. Makes sense to me, so I think we'll continue with that. So the first thing I want to do is kind of just scoop this compressor out of the way. Right here is all of our wires. That's a big old bundle of wires. So we'll take these and we'll just try to feed them through the hole down there. We got some wires in there. We got a couple hoses in there. All right, there we go. I got all of those pressed through. All right, back up front, here's that big old bundle. We got 2 screws right here that look like they hold this guy in place. So let's pull these screws out. Now we put our little raceway piece into place. Right there. And now we can screw it back in. There we go, our raceway nice and secured. Now we gotta mount this side. So let's slide over our other cabinet. And we gotta do the same thing, pull the screws out. Slide her right into place without crushing everything. And screw it in. And now with those connected, we have some wires to connect, as well as a hose. This part looks pretty straightforward. I have a red connector, a 3-pin connector, a 4-pin connector, this big guy, this guy, a 3 and a 6. So they're all different. You really can't mess it up. Okay, I got all those plugged in. Everything looks pretty good. Now I'm just gonna set this cover on right here. I'm not gonna screw it down yet. I'm just gonna set it down. Now let's take a look at what other pieces we got. We got a cage piece, 2 of these score box pieces, this big old Marquee piece, which obviously goes up top, and 1 more cage, which is close but not quite identical to that piece. We also got this little piece of wood right here and this little metal piece. No, wait, I lied. These are the same pieces. It's just a mirror image. So if I set them like this, you can see that they are the same. So the fact that they're the same but mirrored kind of makes me think that it's some kind of barrier from here to there. So maybe putting that middle piece on was premature. These definitely screw into the holes down there, but this side has these little pegs on it. And I don't see any matching holes right here, unless they're behind the decal. Oh, yeah, there's one right there. You see, it's kind of hard to see. You can see the little circle right there, though. There you go. See that a lot better now. So there's one. Right here is the next one. And down here is the last one. These are threaded, but they have tape on them, so slowly getting it off. Okay, all the tape is removed. Now the question is, which one of these goes on which side? So after looking at a quick Google picture of the game, this long diagonal goes that way on the game. So this piece goes here, and that piece goes back there. So let's go ahead and grab a screw, find our hole, and we'll just poke through the decal. There's one. There's 2 of them. And there's 3. Now we'll slide our cage on. Alright, the cage is slid in. Now can I get this side in? Sweet. I was really worried I would have to take that back off, but we're good right here. Now the question is, which bit of hardware do I use? Generally, my philosophy is if I don't know what hardware to use, you find one that has the right threading and then use the shortest one. Meaning the shortest one that fits all the way in. And it looks like these short ones fit plenty, so I'm assuming these are the right ones. Not only that, but if you look at the size I just used, I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And with these longer ones, I only have 7 of them. So it does make sense that the short ones are the right ones. So I'll go ahead and get all the rest of those secured, and then I'll get this secured as well. Alright, now that all of those screws are secured, now we gotta come over to this side where the studs went through the cabinet. And come behind here. Right out there you can see the studs. So we'll thread on a nut and we'll tighten it up just a little bit. That should be plenty. We are going directly into wood and there were no washers included, so I don't want to mess the wood up. But now we have 5 more to put on. Alrighty, now with all 6 of those secured, I'm fairly certain these guys go up top. Right up here somewhere. And what's even weirder about these guys is that these are displays. But if you look down inside here, there is no wire on there at all. No connector, no nothing. And if you look on this one, it's the same thing, only that one actually has a little white connector on there. Even though I'm not too sure what's going on here, I am going to mount these back up there anyways. I do know that this one goes on the left because the left side is finished and the right side is not. And on this one, the right side is finished and the left side is not. So we tilt this up, we got some wires to pass through there. Set that back down. We'll figure out all the electrical later. This might not even do anything, to be honest. Same thing over here, we got a bunch of wires to pass through the opening. There we go. Now if we look right down there, we see that screw that lines up with the screw hole. Just about just like that. There's another one over there, and then of course 1, 2 more in here. I lied. There's 3 on each. That one back there is going to be a little tough to get to, but judging by the size, I assume we are now using these guys. So we'll grab 6 of these, drop that in, start it by hand. Same thing over here, and that guy back there as well. Alrighty, so those 3 screws are done. 1, 2, 3 screws are done, and now this guy is nice and secure. Alright guys, so you're not going to believe this. So I have a connector on there, right? No connector there. On this side, no connector and no connector. But if we look down here at our nice Marquee, look what we have here. It's the female side of those connectors. One on that one, I have another one right there. And down here, I have another one. So obviously whenever they tested this game and they had it assembled, when they unplugged these, they just ripped the connectors out. So that's pretty cool. So I guess we'll just go ahead and get these reconnected on here. Luckily they just kind of press on, but still, that should not have been like that. Alright, all 4 of those should be good to go now. So now that we got that little thing kind of figured out, I think we can go ahead and put this guy on. Looks like we can just peel this up. And this fits right over those 2 displays, just like that. And I believe these get the same screws that went down on the fence. Alright, that's looking good. I believe now we are probably good to get our Marquee installed. This thing is actually pretty large and looks really good. You know, I don't know who makes this game, but it's actually really nice. From like this back is removable to get to that screw, which is cool. Come back here and look at these brackets. They actually have a hole right here to access those nuts, which is really convenient. The raceway that they have in here and the raceway in the back of the Marquee even. Really enjoy seeing this kind of attention to detail in games. It's actually not really all that common. Anyways, let's get this guy attached. It looks like the screws for it are pre-installed, so we'll get those out. Next, we're gonna lift in place, so he's gonna do that. I'm gonna climb up here. All right, well that was a major pain in the butt, but the Marquee is now mounted. We had to come in here and flip these little holders around because they were pointing downward. And when they were pointing down, they were getting stuck behind here. We also had to feed this cable through. That had to go through there. On this side, this one, and this one had to make sure they were up and not pointed down. This one kept getting caught behind it that way. And these LEDs also kept getting stuck behind that. 0% chance one person could do that alone. But now we got it, and now we just gotta connect these. So obviously this guy goes right there because it says input. And over here, just judging by where they are, I guess that one goes there and that one goes there. Just like that. And on this side we have two what appear to be like LED wires. Those are connected. And now all the way over here we have another large bundle of wires that plugs into a large bundle of wires. And they all should be different. Perfect. Now those are done. I believe everything up here is ready to go. All right, let's get down and see how she looks. Fantastic. We got a little bit more stuff to peel off. Sweet. Looks good. Now if I had to guess, this guy right here probably goes up there to cover all that stuff. All right, so here we are back up top. We'll get this guy. We'll set him into place. And we have 8 screws all the way around that hold him on. All right, and with that guy installed, we can put this one back into place right here. And this one back into place right here. And each of these gets 4 screws. All right, we are all tidy up back here. I think we're good to move on. So that unit was done. We went ahead and we got this one all set up as well. The only piece we're not too sure of is this guy. I'm not really sure where it goes. I kind of feel like it might mount the 2 cabinets together. So both of these back doors open up, so we would either have to sit down here or maybe up top, which is kind of what I'm thinking, or maybe not. There's no set of holes that line up with these two, and none of these are threaded from the outside either. It can't go back there. Really interesting, huh? Let's keep looking. It's much too wide to go across the front. There's got to be a way to connect the games together because they get linked with a link cable like this, which I'll connect right now. But for there to be no way to actually like physically connect them, that just seems really silly to me. Another really silly thing is that this compressor came with a rubber piece for the bottom, but the one over there did not. A lot of really weird things going on here. Next, let's grab our transformer. This thing smells amazing, but we can just lay that right there. It's super heavy. Alright, now we just get our power cord. We plug that guy in right there. Alright, now we can turn this guy around. We're probably going to have to notch the wood so we can run the power cord out. Same thing with this side to run the power cord for the compressor from this side over to this side. But we can do that in a little bit. For right now, we'll just get this hooked up. The compressor will plug in right here. And this compressor will plug in right next to it. There we go. That's all hooked up. Sorry for the lack of light. My phone is about to die. Now we have 2 power cables, one for this game. It actually plugs in on this side. And another power cable on this side. And now all 3 of those power cables can get plugged into the power strip. Can't forget to flip the power switch on the transformer. Alright, now we can just power the whole thing on. Both compressors sound like they're running. Transformer isn't blowing up. Well, the games aren't turning on, so maybe there's a power switch. Yep, one right there. That one came on, and one right here. All right. Alrighty. There is another marquee that goes above both of those, but we'll get that installed later. All that's really left now is to get the card reader installed. Other than that, the game is ready to go.